it is always in the back of my mind that I am responsible. I should have taken more care of my son. No matter what reasoning I can produce to convince myself that, look, he did not tell me and principal did not tell me and how severe it was, and it comes back down, boils down to the point that every time I have no excuse. The responsibility is there and I'm responsible.
A father who wanted to mourn the sudden death of his son quietly, privately. But fate had something else planned for him. Today he's seen as a man who stands for trying to eradicate ragging from India. In March this year, Professor Rajendra Kachru's son, Aman Kachru, a handsome young boy, hit the headlines after being ragged to death in the Rajendra Prasad Medical College in Himachal Pradesh.
From the first day he would come and he would say ragging hora and stuff like that. I think 2 months later he called me and I could feel that he was a little depressed. He told us a couple of times, he said that he was slapped a couple of times and stuff. What happened to him that night on the 7th is, we firmly believe that it was just completely a freak accident. Because the ragging period really was over. These 4 boys came in drunk and they started acting like this. That wasn't ragging. It was an assault, which is covered under ragging.
In fact, Aman did call his dad just 2 hours before his death. He sounded depressed but did not mention the brutal beating.
It is not a fight, hands-on fight between 2 people. It's like family abuse, where the shame factor is there. If it was just a fight, straightforward fight between 2 people, then my son shouldn't have been killed. He was 6'2", and those boys, I believe, are pretty small little kids.
A violent death of his son was all the more shocking for his family because of the kind of person that Aman was.
He was a very unusual boy. He was very friendly, had never a conflict, wouldn't get angry for no reason or whatever, very small things.
20 years of trust building, and I feel like I've lost a companion. I had shared a couple of long words that I didn't understand. He definitely he could write.
If you ask him to study chemistry, God help, he wouldn't like it, but certain things he liked, certain things he didn't like everybody else. He was able to talk on serious matters, including on ragging, the picture that he produced, which many people saw, the bubble diagram, was his way of doing a logical analysis of the entire process. But he was obviously unable because the violence, when it comes to the violence and injury, there's nothing you can do about it. And he just fell prey to that.
At the time of the tragedy, the entire family was in different places.
She was in the ashram and I was in Dar es Salaam when this happened. And she sent him an SMS asking him, has he anything to pray to the Baba for?
Actually, I was on a trip with some school friends, and I had bought tickets to go to Las Vegas. I found out, I think 20 minutes before the plane landed. I was the last person actually to find out.
The logic tells me that my son was killed. But the faith tells me that my son had a purpose. And the purpose is something else. He has left me with a purpose. It's very visible, it's very clear, well defined. and I must work at it.
Professor Kachru tried to take the loss of his son pragmatically instead of spewing venom.
My personal opinion is that it is the principal of that college who is more responsible than those 4 boys. I feel sorry for the parents of those 4 boys who send their kids to college assuming that they will come out as doctors, and now they're in jail.
He barely gave himself a day to mourn with the belief that Aman's death had a purpose. His mind was racing on how could something as fatal as ragging still be entertained in university campus. Within days, along with the unquestionable support and help from his family, he founded the Aman movement.
I met the Minister for Human Resources. He was very helpful. He introduced me to the officials of the Ministry of Human Resources, who in turn asked me to make the first presentation about this plan to the Raghavan Committee on the 25th of March. I made a presentation, but it matured really on the 13th of April. And finally, it was approved and became a part of the judgment of the Supreme Court on the 8th of May.
For a man who knew little about the education system in India, today he's ready to take his nationwide campaign to 20,000 colleges with about 2 crore students, giving a year-long break to his main profession of product design.
I have learned one thing, and which I would advise all the parents, is that don't take chances. Don't take it lightly. On the first indication, pick up the phone, ring the principal, ring the helpline, ring people like us, ring anybody. Go to the college, pick up your child, do something, but do not ignore it. Consequence of his death is a beautiful gift. We lost Aman, but as a society, as a humanity, we have got a gift in response, in compensation in a way.